Harper Audio presents Secrets of a Proper Lady by Victoria Alexander. Performed by Charlotte Parry. Copyright 2007 by Cheryl Griffin. Production copyright 2007 by HarperCollins Publishers. Prologue. London, June 1854. Cursed, Daniel Sinclair said under his breath. I have always considered myself a practical and rational sort, but... He shook his head. We're cursed. It's the only explanation. Nonsense. Oliver Layton, the Earl of Norcroft, laughed. We don't believe in such things. Still, your own Shakespeare said it. Sinclair thought for a moment. There are more things in heaven and earth than... How does that go? There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy, Oliver said with a shrug. I thought we had agreed that this is nothing more than coincidence. Yes, of course, Sinclair scoffed. It's no more than coincidence that 4 men, none of whom are remotely interested in marriage, actively opposed to it, I'd say, Oliver murmured, form a tontine with nothing more than a handful of coins and a bottle of cognac at stake, and before you know it, 2 of them are gone. Oliver chuckled. They're not dead, Sinclair. Simply married. Some might say it's much the same thing, Sinclair muttered darkly. Oliver grinned at his American friend. I had no idea your view of marriage was quite so pessimistic. Under other circumstances, it's not. Sinclair settled back in his chair and considered the matter. When we first gathered here at this club of yours, there were 4 of us. We each contributed 1 shilling, a contribution more symbolic than monetary, and purchased a bottle of the club's finest cognac to be held here, in wait for the ultimate winner. You cannot tell me you didn't expect that bottle to be held for a very long time. I admit I didn't think our numbers would diminish so quickly. That was in February. It's now June, and only 2 of us are left. Sinclair narrowed his eyes. And frankly, I would have put their chances of winning this whole thing at better than ours. You do have a point. Gideon Purcell, Viscount Wharton, was the first to go. Oliver would have bet far more than a mere shilling that Wharton would have outlasted all of them. But who could have foreseen a lovely widow would have caught not merely Wharton's eye, but his heart? Then there was Nigel Cavendish, now Viscount Cavendish, who married abruptly, thanks to an errant pistol shot in the night, and then proceeded to fall deeply in love with his own wife. In Oliver's opinion, given Cavendish's penchant for amorous escapades and active avoidance of responsibility of any kind, Cavendish was right on the heels of Wharton as to the ultimate winner of the tontine, the last man standing, as it were, which left only Oliver and an American entrepreneur, Daniel Sinclair, whose development of railroads in his country had a great deal of potential for profit. Oliver and the others had invested in the American's venture, and Oliver had no doubt it would ultimately be quite successful. I tell you, Norcroft, I feel the hot breath of matrimony on the back of my neck even as we speak. Oliver laughed. It might be on the back of my neck. But you don't seem to mind. You, among all of us, have never seemed especially adverse to marriage. Sinclair leaned toward Oliver and met his gaze firmly. That's why you're safe and I'm doomed. He shook his head in a mournful manner. That's how these things work. These things? Oliver raised a brow. Are you talking about curses again? Curses, fate, coincidence, whatever you wish to call it. It looks around for the one least likely to appreciate whatever it has planned, then singles him out for, in this case, marriage. No, I'm most certainly doomed. Sinclair tossed back the rest of his brandy, then signaled a waiter for more. I might as well walk out on the street right now and propose to the first woman who passes by. It's not that dire, Oliver chuckled. Who knows what might happen? Under the proper circumstances, I could certainly marry next. Would you? Sinclair accepted a fresh glass from the waiter. I would appreciate it. I'm afraid not. Oliver studied the American. It is nice to know, however, that you are preparing yourself. Preparing myself? To lose. Sinclair considered the other man for a long moment. No, Norcroft. In spite of my
Sample complete. Ready to continue?